Morning. So I wanted to tell the story of this transaction that I'm currently getting involved with. Some longtime clients of mine, great clients, bought and sold a couple properties with them. They are interested in making another move, and we've been kind of looking for about a year or so, just lightly looking. And all of a sudden, the right property popped up. So we went and checked it out real quick, and it was the right one. It's an interesting situation. It's a bankruptcy property, so some intricate things will have to happen for that sale to go through. The trustee has to accept the offer. Then from there, the contingency period starts. Once all contingencies are removed, then the purchase can be taken to the court for sale. They've said it could be a 60 or 90 day process, so there's some sensitive time issues there. In addition to that, my buyers, I should say, our contingent buyers, we need to sell their current home. So in the same day we made the offer on the property, we listed their property for sale. We had taken photos of their property professionally about a year ago, maybe a little less, in preparation for when the right property did show up. And sure enough, here it did. So we listed their property all on the same day of making that offer to make our offer as a contingent buyer a little bit stronger. So now offer has been presented. The listing agent has noted that our offer looks good, and I'll be presenting to the trustee on Monday. It is Sunday. I'm actually on my way to the client's house right now this morning to drop off a lockbox because we've had quite a few showing requests within just the first 24 hours of the property being on the market. Importance of correct pricing. But anyways, that's kind of where we're at right now. From a timing perspective, it's going to be interesting on the sales side because they're contingent buyers. They're also going to be contingent sellers because we need to make sure that this bankruptcy sale is going to go through before we ultimately lock in that sale on both ends. So I'll be sure to keep you updated on how that process is going to pan out. But for now, that's kind of where we're at. Talk to you soon. Update. We have received a second offer on my client's property with the hopes of a third coming through any minute now. And on the purchase, been in communication with the listing agent. He has presented the offer to the trustee. Things are looking good. We haven't gotten a response from the trustee yet, but he has mentioned that things are looking good. They're happy with the pricing on our offer. So, without sounding too optimistic, it sounds pretty good. Next will be to get that response from the trustee, get that accepted. What we're going to do is do a multiple counteroffer situation on my client's current home with the option for a 60-day rent back. So we will close escrow and then actually have a 60-day rent back after the closing. So that'll give time for the whole bankruptcy process, court filing, all that good stuff to actually happen. So kind of a unique scenario in that we're able to potentially get that from one of our buyers. And it is because we are in a multiple counter situation. So they're going to be competing a little more to get the property. So we'll see what happens with this multiple counter. We'll see what happens with the trustee information and go from there. Morning. Saturday morning, Memorial Day weekend. Update time. So we had multiple offers, actually 3 total, on our client's property. One was looking super solid, great price. We did a multiple counteroffer situation. The one offer stepped up to the plate, came up with great price, a little bit off on the terms. We countered those terms. Verbally, it was looking solid, ready to go. I get a call the next morning, and they've decided to move on to another property. We were a seller contingent with an option for a 60-day rent back. So what that means is that that buyer on that property ultimately wouldn't be that locked in with us because we're seller contingent, and then after that they would have to wait 60 days after we close escrow for them to take possession on the property. So other two offers, just terms and pricing didn't make sense, so back to square one. We have a few showings today, which is great news. We're still just barely 1 week on the market, so we're still in a great position. However, no answer from the trustee. It's been a week that we've had an offer in and no answer from the trustee. So we'll see what happens from here. We're going to check out the house again today, just to see with family and a couple friends that are in town. My clients wanted to see the home again. So we're going to check that out this morning at 8 a.m. and then I've got an open house later on another property in Chino. Update time. So since my client's offer was not chosen on the bankruptcy property, they did decide to take their current home off the market. So we've just kind of been in limbo. But in the meantime, we have been kind of actively seeking out a property for them. So we have identified the neighborhood, the specific floor plans, the specific criteria as far as square footage, bedroom, bathroom count, narrowed that down with my title rep, Brandon, thank you, and we're able to get a specific list of properties within a given neighborhood, and I've drafted a letter with the help of my title rep, Brandon, to send to specific properties and homeowners saying that I have a qualified buyer that's interested in purchasing a home in your neighborhood, specifically to your property. And I actually got a call yesterday from one of them. So I met with them this afternoon. They plan to put their property on the market in the near future. However, they're interested in this opportunity of working with my buyers exclusively prior to going on the market. So that would enable us to not have to compete with other offers, maybe give us a little more time to get their current property in escrow and see what we can put together. So from here, I'm going to schedule a showing for my clients to see this property, this off-market property. And see if we can't put something together. I'll let you know how it goes. Bye. Hello. I am waiting for some clients for a showing out here in Harupa Valley right now. Looking back, we're a few months since my last video, but looking back, I'm going to update you a little bit. So clients saw the property, enjoyed the home, loved the home, and ultimately we just weren't able to put together the scenario. The homeowner just wanted to go a different direction as far as selling his property the traditional way of putting it on the market and marketing it and whatnot. So we waited from there. He eventually did put it on the market, and right away we wrote an offer. However, understandably so, they did not want to accept an offer from a contingent buyer if their property was not under contract. So my buyer's home went on the market. The market's taken a little bit of a shift in the market. So we were priced at one price, dropped it once and twice, and then eventually we were able to touch base with the buyer. Lots of negotiation over the course of about 2.5 weeks, maybe 3 weeks. Eventually got under contract, and then right away wrote an offer on the initial property that I contacted, and which happened to be still in the market, fortunately, because they were basically experiencing the same market that we were as sellers. Slow down, kind of weird timing. It was when school was going back in session, as well as a little bit of a hike in interest rates there for a little bit. Well, school's back and interest rates have jumped down. So increased level of activity. We got an offer, got under contract. Now we wrote an offer. A little bit of back and forth on negotiations there. And this morning we have an executed contract. So we are a contingent seller on their home and a contingent buyer on the purchase, but we are under contract on the original property that I contacted a few months back. We are officially under contract on both properties. We're scheduling inspections. We're getting things going as far as their loan and all that good stuff. But we'll see what happens. We're under contract. Got to get through some inspections and all the rest of the transactional details. But we have agreed on purchase price and terms, and we're on our way. Okay, guys, we have gotten through inspections. We have gotten through appraisals. Gotten through loan contingency on my buyer's purchase. Bless you. You okay? All right. We are waiting on final loan approval for our buyer on my client's property to go through. Got the message from the lender this evening that we do not have final loan approval yet. This is pushing back our timeline a little bit. We're probably gonna close a day or two late, which doesn't sound like the worst thing in the world, but both sides of the transaction have movers and contractors and carpet people and painters and all that stuff lined up. The seller of my client's purchase is moving out of state, so he's got movers that are looking to move him out of state. A lot of moving parts, and doesn't seem like that big of a deal, but it has a ripple effect. Hopeful for tomorrow to have really good news that they'll have the approval and we can progress from there. The big thing is the CD, the closing disclosure, and I'll go into that a little further, but that's an item that the buyer has to receive and have in their possession for 3 days before they can sign off on loan docs. It's a newer item in the last few years or so, but it's an unknown thing and it can have an effect late in the game on closing and final loan doc signing. So that's where we're at. We're very close to the finish line, months later, but we're getting there. Huh, Emmett? Yeah. Oh yeah, by the way, the appraisal on my client's purchase came in approximately $23,000 over the purchase price. So day one, once they take possession of this property next week, they'll be $23,000 theoretically equity positive, if not more. So great news. We negotiated that price down and got some instant equity. Isn't that cool, Emmett? You like equity? Yeah. All right, anyways, see ya. Okay, here we are. 1 week after we have officially closed on both properties. We were supposed to close on the 12th of November, Tuesday, the day after Veterans Day, on Tono, my client's current home, and then the next day concurrently on their purchase at Talega. Again, we got delayed 1 day, so we pushed that out to the 13th and the 14th, and we have officially closed on both. Again, we negotiated 6 days after the closing of their sale on their current home, and so that would give them the opportunity to get done some paint, carpet, and other items and complete their move into their purchase. So really excited for all parties involved to get these transitions made and start making more memories in their new homes. So hope you've enjoyed this little documentary journey that I went on. I had a feeling it would be a intricate and challenging transaction, which is why I started to document it, and it proved to be that. However, all these transactions are different each time, so it's tough to tell. Sometimes you see one property, you buy it, and it's a very simple process. Sometimes you see 50 and and you eventually find the one, and it's a difficult process. So you never know what's going to come across, which is what's fun about this business. But I'm really excited to service my clients in the sale of their past home, and representing them on the purchase of their new one to create memories there. Thanks again. We'll talk to you soon. Bye.